Okay, let's all say it together. Awkward.
Andy, don't touch Ivanka.
Oh wait, did I say I was single?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 awkward moments on late night. For this list, we're looking at interviews and encounters on late night TV shows that were just downright uncomfortable to watch. Number 10, when Joaquin Phoenix wasn't having it. Jimmy Kimmel Live. It's kind of assumed by now, for good reason, that when Phoenix does interviews, things are gonna get weird. But it's not always his fault.
Who's Larry?
Yeah, Larry is the cinematographer. This is so embarrassing.
He's genuinely shy and a little socially awkward, so he sometimes has trouble following typical interview conventions. Yet, TV hosts keep trying. We're at the point where the awkwardness of these encounters perhaps stems more from hosts persisting. On the other hand, that is their job. Phoenix was charming while talking about his acting, but once Kimmel became a bit more pointed and personal, Phoenix became less comfortable, defensive, and less engaged.
I was supposed to be private.
Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed. I'm sorry about that.
His appearance on Fallon during this same time also went off the rails when the host asked a series of personal questions.
Can one person remember what the first answer was?
All right, look. Step Brothers. You've seen Step Brothers more than any other
Guys,
film.
listen to him.
Yeah.
Number 9, when Bill Burr and Sarah Silverman had it out. I Love You, America with Sarah Silverman. This conversation between Burr and Silverman was so cringe and confusing that we're still not sure what happened years later. And neither is the internet.
Because every time we fight, as I'm driving home, I get a text from you that says, you know I love you, right? And I go, yeah, I love you too.
That isn't me.
Either these two are very close and are just taking the piss out of each other, or this was an impromptu therapy session exploring their likes and dislikes for each other.
I do like you, and I always feel like you're frustrated with me.
And honestly, not knowing for sure makes it all the more uncomfortable. To be fair to Sarah though, Burr is usually on the defensive when it comes to interviews, and doesn't exude much in terms of emotion, unless you count sarcasm and paranoia. So, all things considered, it could have gone much worse, right?
It comes from something from your childhood or something, like the ticking time bomb that your dad was, or things like that that were out of your control, and you don't like feeling out of control or people telling you what to do. That's my theory. This is so uncomfortable for you.
It feels like
love
an emotional intervention.
Number 8, when David Letterman and Shirley MacLaine clashed. Late Night with David Letterman. For certain celebrities, heading on to late night in the 80s was akin to throwing raw meat into a hungry lion's cage. Dave mellowed out in his later years, but early on he could be quite confrontational. Or as Shirley MacLaine calls him,
Maybe you are an ass.
Partway through this interview, Dave wanted to talk about Shirley's belief in reincarnation, but the actress didn't think there was time to do so.
Just checking if it is real.
It is. Sure, it's real.
And as Dave kept pushing the topic, MacLaine let Dave know what she thinks of him. What's truly remarkable about this scene is that neither guest nor host attempted to make up or play nice for TV, and the barbs just kept coming until the interview mercifully ran out of time.
Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before it's time to go?
You're the interviewer. You tell me. You wanted me here for 3 years. I'm here.
I think we'll probably wait another 3.
Number 7, when Norman Mailer went after Gore Vidal. The Dick Cavett Show. It's hard to imagine any interview in this day and age starting out with a headbutt backstage, but that's just what happened here. Cavett's infamous interview featured 2 literary heavyweights, squaring off over their intense dislike of one another.
I would apologize if it hurts your feelings. Of course I would.
No, it hurts my sense of intellectual pollution.
Well, I must say, as an expert, you should know about that.
Mailer was a critic of the feminist movement, and Vidal took his views to task in an essay where he likened Mailer's misogyny to that of serial killer Charles Manson.
Perhaps you'd like 2 more chairs to contain your giant intellect.
Mailer, who had been drinking, was furious with Vidal's article, and subsequently couldn't maintain his composure in person, headbutting and cursing Vidal backstage while openly insulting everyone, including the host and female guest, on stage. Talk about intense.
You act as if you were the only people here.
Aren't we?
They are here. He's here. I'm here. And I'm becoming very, very bored.
Number 6, when Abel Ferrara went off the rails. Late Night with Conan O'Brien. If you've seen Ferrara's 1992 film Bad Lieutenant, you would know that the director is not afraid of controversy, which Conan acknowledged while inviting him on stage at his old show.
I wanted to ask you about the...
Conan.
There you go. All right.
Dennis.
Cool. All right, you just passed our sobriety test here. All right.
I know.
So, not surprisingly, controversy is exactly what ensued. Ferrara was accused of showing up drunk, refusing to go on stage, and at one point, even leaving the NBC studio, requiring staff members to track him down.
I want to talk about Harvey
How's
Keitel.
the baby? Did you say?
I want to talk about Harvey Keitel.
Go ahead. Where is it? I'll kick his ass. Where is it?
And if you thought that sounds like a mess, just watch the interview. Ferrara is barely audible at times, slurring and rambling incoherently, to the point where Conan suggests viewers will need subtitles to understand him. Conan later admitted that in his entire career, Abel Ferrara was by far the absolutely worst guest he's ever interviewed. Number 5. When Jimmy Kimmel mocked Jay Leno to his face. The Jay Leno Show. Remember the late night wars?
And this is for kids at home. If you have silly putty to make yourself a nice big Dudley Do-Right chin, that works too.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel sure had a take, and he didn't take kindly to Jay Leno's actions, ruthlessly mocking and impersonating Jay during Leno's drawn-out Tonight Show dust-up with Conan O'Brien.
I don't think people care about what I have to say.
I agree with that.
What's going on in your life.
Tomorrow night, tomorrow night's bad for me. All right, let's move on.
For some odd reason, Leno's producers then thought it would be a good idea to have Kimmel on Jay's new show. And, well, it plays out exactly as you would expect. Leno clearly hates Kimmel's impression of him, and Jimmy takes every opportunity to insult Jay on his own show.
But I think the best prank I ever pulled was I told a guy that 5 years from now, I'm going to give you my show. And then when the 5 years came, I gave it to him, and then I took it back almost instantly.
Wow.
Watching Leno forcing himself to laugh while Jimmy drops bombs on him is the equivalent of having to smile while being punched in the face. Number 4. When David Letterman shredded Paris Hilton. Late Show with David Letterman.
Our first guest is a woman of many talents. She is a film star, a recording artist, and an entrepreneur.
It took Letterman about a fraction of a second to insult Hilton when she unwisely appeared on his show in 2007 after serving time in jail. Dave introduced her as, quote, a woman of many talents, with a sharp grin on his face, and then went straight to pressing and mocking Paris on her jail stay.
Have your friends treated you differently since you've been out of the slammer?
Hilton initially put on a brave face, but soon refused to talk about her time in the clink, while shooting Dave some dirty looks.
But I've moved on with my life, so I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
This is so painful to watch because she is drastically outmatched here, and obviously cannot trade in sarcasm and insults with a master like Letterman. In fact, it's just unfair at some points, and we kind of wish there were a referee present to stop the fight.
I know, but now you're making me sad that I came because you're
no,
hurting my
please,
feelings.
please don't be sad. Are you really sad? No. Are you feeling better now?
You stop talking about it, yes.
Number 3. When Jennifer Garner got schooled. Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Conan went to Harvard, and while that doesn't always mean anything, he is clearly a sharp guy.
There's a time when you snuck into the room to see what the...
I sneaked into the room. Snuck isn't a word, Conan, and you went to Harvard and you should know that.
So Jennifer Garner probably shouldn't have called out O'Brien for his ultimately correct language usage before mocking his education at one of the best universities in the world. But she did. Luckily, it was all in good fun, but being the nerd he is, Conan couldn't let the opportunity pass to whip out a dictionary and school Garner, quite literally.
I keep a dictionary down here and I just found it. Just want to look at... Oh, what the hell? Look right here. Snuck, past and past part of sneak.
Jennifer goes from confidently and enthusiastically talking about her latest role to utter silence, with more than a hint of embarrassment, as Professor O'Brien rubs it in. Number 2. When Madonna let loose. Late Show with David Letterman. Just like you never know how a Letterman interview will go, you never know how a Madonna guest appearance will turn out.
I gave him my underpants and he won't
But we know one thing for sure. Everyone at the FCC was having a collective heart attack during this profanity-ridden, innuendo-driven, filthily funny interview. Where to begin, really? Countless F-bombs and anatomy jokes are one thing, but it's Madonna's constant insistence that Dave's obsessed with her sexually, and while never denying this claim, Dave's flirty behavior that really make this one for the ages.
You can't get through a show without talking about me or thinking about me.
Do they like each other? Do they loathe each other? Just what are we watching here? It feels like either a fight or a snog fest is about to break out, and both outcomes are equally worrisome.
I get a big kick out of you, and
Really? In what way?
Well, just, you know,
What part of your body?
I think you're a nice.
Where?
You know, I think you're a decent, nice person. You know.
All I can say about this list is yeesh. And our number one is a pop culture moment everyone was talking about in 2009. And while we've since gotten an explanation about what was going on, it's no less awkward to watch today. So let's suffer through the cringe factor of our honorable mentions, and then we'll see the most awkward late night moment.
Is there anybody you'd like to apologize to right now yourself?
No.
No? No.
Maybe the audience.
No one
How
to
about the
apologize
audience?
at all.
I'm strong, you know, I'm strong. I can arm wrestle. Do you want to arm wrestle?
No.
I've been taking, you know, I've taken part. These aren't mine. I can kick.
Okay. I'm going to go check on the top 10.
And I said you've been on the show like 500 times. Do they have like a cake for you once a year or something? And I'm not funny, huh?
Yes, you are.
What you do is you try to maximize.
And do you honestly believe, irrespective, I don't care, irrespective of what the, oh, sure, help yourself. Thank you.
We're really friends.
I think we ate at Planet Hollywood. I think we just, anything desperately, thirstily trying to get attention. Now you go.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. When Joaquin Phoenix seemed nutty. Late Show with David Letterman. Joaquin again. Sure, his whole shtick turned out to be a wacky piece of performance art for a mockumentary that he and Casey Affleck were making, but in 2009, the world collectively thought that Joaquin had fully lost his mind.
Is there something wrong?
I can't be the first one to make you feel weird about it.
No, I guess not.
He claimed he was transitioning to a career in hip-hop, yet he could barely string 2 sentences together in real time.
I do more hip-hop music.
Hip-hop music.
That's a joke. What do you have them on?
Was he drunk? High? Sick? Dying? For every time someone asked one of these questions, the outcome was a torrent of opinion pieces and endless speculation that filled the internet for months. Yet the one thing we did not get, for over a year and a half, was answers. Joaquin returned to Late Show in 2010 and apologized for his behavior. But even that interview was a little awkward.
But I apologize. I didn't. I hope I didn't offend you in any way.
No. I was not offended.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it was so much fun. It was
good.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.